size to allow for stormwater management and the development of the Lake Newell Resort Community Pathway. The subject property is directly north of Lake Newell Resort. A review of the wetland inventory indicates there are wetlands. It's also considered environmentally significant through the environmentally significant areas in Alberta database. There's no historically significant areas, and there are no abandoned wells. This application was circulated to adjacent landowners and required referral agencies, and we did not receive any comments or objections. Conditions that MPC can consider include that all taxes shall be paid, any utility of right-of-ways or easements required be registered prior to the finalization of the subdivision. And then in this case, municipal reserve is applicable as this is not the first parcel out of the quarter section. And does not meet the provisions of the MGA. So the municipal reserve policy would apply. So there are two options that MPC could consider. One being that municipal reserve be taken in place of land on the 26.58 acres. Land value was obtained from our assessor. So 10% of that times the number of acres would be $11,695. That would be payable for municipal reserve. The other option is that 10% municipal reserve requirement can be deferred by caveat on the newly created parcel. So what that would mean then that if that parcel was ever developed further, then the municipal reserve could become applicable at that time. It is recommended that MPC approve this subdivision with the conditions listed, and the reserve is at your discretion.
Okay. So the first question that I have is, typically we don't go with the caveat route. Is that correct? Go ahead.
That's correct. We have deferred it in the past, but since we've updated the new municipal reserve policy, it does state that MPC should request money in place of land. The difference with this one is that it is a lot larger than any other subdivision that we've had in the past few years. So that's maybe where this consideration could come into effect.
Go ahead, Greg.
So in your opinion, for future development, which would be the best route to go? If something were to happen for that land where it could be developed, what would be the best route? Which option would be the best, do you think?
Go ahead.
I think there's a few things to consider. So if the money is taken now, you have the money in the municipal reserve fund and it's taken care of. You don't have to go onto a caveat later on. However, if there is a development later, and because of the size of this parcel, it's not off the table. As land value increases and becomes more valuable, that means that there's the opportunity to collect more money in the future. So the 10% municipal reserve would be on the number of acres, and the land value would be dictated at that time. So if this land value doubles in whatever, 10, 20 years when it is developed at that time, then it could be a benefit that way to the county.
Sorry.
Yep, go ahead.
And that would be option 2, would be the, for future benefit to the county would be option 2.
That's correct.
Thank you.
Morning,
Go ahead,
Maria.
Amanda.
Just for clarification, to allow a stormwater management and the pathway development, will that be, how is that working?
Yep, go ahead, Maria.
Sure. So this stormwater pond here is actually currently on EID land, and it takes stormwater from the Lake Knoll Resort and goes in there. So it's essentially county water that's going onto EID property. And it's also proposed that the pathway be built down here and then through here. So it's kind of hitting two birds with one stone. The county then can retain ownership of this stormwater management or stormwater pond. If they need to do anything in the future to improve or upgrade, that's an option now on county-owned land. And then the pathway can go through here as well.
And the county, the EID is the owner of the property to the east of that. Is that correct?
That is correct. So there was a motion made previously by council to purchase this subdivided parcel once it's subdivided, and this portion to the east as well.
Greg.
I'm ready to make a motion on this one for option 2 on this one.
Any further discussion or questions on that proposal? Holly.
Given that we're going to have a stormwater there, what's the likelihood of actually being developed, do you think?
Go ahead, Maria.
That's definitely a consideration that MPC should take on, I suppose. The municipal reserve can be dedicated by caveat to this parcel or to a different parcel if that's the route they want to go, but I wouldn't recommend that. I would recommend one of these two options. But yeah, development capabilities in the future, I can't speak to that.
Greg.
Yeah, it's a pretty big parcel. That's that stormwater drain right there. That's a pretty big ridge right there. So I think there's opportunity there in the future. I mean, we have to look at long time down the future, but I think there's opportunity for development there. So, and that's why I suggested option 2.
You've heard the motion. Are you ready for the question, or do you have further questions for Greg or staff? All in favor of Greg's motion then? All right, that is carried. I was reading question marks on faces, so I asked the question slowly. Thank you for that. Any other business? None. Post-agenda items, there were none. Anybody requesting an in-camera session? Seeing no hands. Any questions in the queue, Catherine? None. I will adjourn this MPC meeting. Thanks to both Maria and Shanalee for getting us through that.
Okay, I'm going to suggest that we reconvene in about 3 or 4 minutes at 4:15. I'll call this meeting to order at 10:15. Excuse me. I know that Dan Short will not be here this morning. Is there someone that would put forward a motion to excuse him? Adina, please. All in favor, please indicate. That's carried. Thank you. We have the minutes of the August 8th, 2024 meeting. Have they've been circulated? Are there any errors or omissions, or a motion to approve the minutes as presented?
I'll make a motion to approve them as presented.
Thanks, Lynette. All in favor, please indicate. That's carried. Are there any post-agenda items that we need to add to the agenda this morning? Seeing none, a motion to approve the agenda as presented would be in order. Amanda, please.
I'll make that motion.
Thank you. All in favor, please indicate. That is carried. And question period or notices of motion. Are there any questions online, or anyone have a notice of motion they want to bring forward? Kelly. Go ahead, Kelly.
I just wonder about our placement of this item on the agenda. I'm wondering, or what you think about it being at the beginning of the meeting. Could we consider posting it down lower on the agenda for our listening audience to gather their thoughts? Some of them maybe have only been entered for 5-10 minutes and we're asking for questions. I don't know. It's nothing new for me. I've thought of it several times, and now I just brought it forward for conversation.
Okay, thanks. What's the protocol? I guess there's no protocol relative to this. We could push it down in the agenda. You're thinking maybe towards the end of the agenda, if someone has a question relating to what's gone on in the meeting, they have the opportunity to raise that. What do the rest of you think? I'm fine with that. If Matt, you think that's procedurally not a problem, eh? Go ahead, Matt.
I'm curious if you just add a second, because part of me is thinking, well, if you've got keeners out there who have reviewed the agenda and have some information they'd like to share for council to consider as part of reviewing the agenda package, and then again at the end if there's any feedback that they want to provide. So I'd maybe recommend you go with 2. It doesn't take long to ask if there's folks there. It's a good opportunity.
I like that idea actually better. That also leaves the notices of motion up front in the meeting, which is probably appropriate too. So, no, that's good. That can just be added in future agendas. So, thank you. Okay, we have several public, agenda items that are timed this morning. We've got an in-camera session with Ray Jessica from SEWA at 10:45. And then other scheduled agenda items. So at this point, I'm going to suggest we move down to item number 8, bylaws. Or just
Let's get to it, and then we'll get going up here. Or you've got Maria, so yeah, we could do bylaws 8.1. You're back now. Yeah, let's go to 10. We'll get
okay, we'll take a, let's move down to 10, administrative business. We have a funding request from 10.1 from the Duchess Minor Vol Little League Association. Lane, welcome. You're going to take us through that item? Yeah.
Good morning. So we have received a funding request from the Duchess Minor Ball Association. They are wanting to move ahead with the installation of shale on the infield areas of the 2 ball diamonds. The ball diamonds are actually located on land that the county owns, same property that the Duchess Golf Course is located on as well. We're suggesting that the funds could be made available to the Minor Ball Association from the public municipal reserve account that the county holds. Funds in that account are generated through the land development process. The use that has been proposed is certainly in keeping with the intended use of those funds, and the recommendation is that council enter into an arrangement with the association for $6,100 to install the shale on those ball diamonds.
Okay, thanks, Lane. Are there any questions or comments from anyone on council this morning? Amanda, please.
First of all, I would just like to thank the coaches and the parent volunteers that look after this ball diamond, from weed control to getting their kids there. And there is 85 to 100 kids at any given time, various teams. They share with Cessford and Brooks. They partner. So we have U9, U13, U15, T-ball, parent ball. So it's a very active ball diamond, and it is very well utilized. I just wanted to put that forth. And thank you to all our volunteers.
Thanks, Amanda. Are there any other questions? Go ahead, Holly, please.
I'm just wondering why no one is here to represent the organization, since that's been one of our kind of requests that we have someone appear before us.
We certainly could have extended an invitation for them to attend. I guess we can make a point of doing that going forward.
Okay, but there isn't precedent for it really necessarily, correct?
We haven't always had groups come in
Sometimes they
to present, but it would be a good idea.
Okay, Adina and then Kelly, please.
Excuse me, I'm just wondering about, on their application, have you solicited funding from any other organizations? They say no, and so I would have been looking for some clarification, like why they haven't gone to Duchess or the City of Brooks, perhaps, for some funding.
In the status of their fundraising efforts, I'm not sure. Maybe it would be appropriate for us to request that they come in and provide some information if council is wanting answers to those questions.
Okay, thank you. Kelly, go ahead, please.
My question, Lane, is you referred to the 2 quotes that we did receive, but they weren't included in the correspondence.
Yeah, they had requested 3 quotes. There was 2 that were received. They've requested funding to move ahead with the lowest of the 2 that came in.
So that's all I wanted to see. So if you refer to it, I'd like to see it.
Okay.
Thanks. That was my question. I guess I have one more question. The work is not done yet, is it? No. Thank you.
Okay, any other, Neil?
I think it's a pretty reasonable request. That stuff will probably last, what, like 10 years?
You're asking someone that doesn't spend a whole lot of time on the ball diamond.
And with that number of kids there, I don't know whether we're ready to make the motion or not, but I'm totally in favor of $6,100 for.
I would accept a motion if you want to make it.
Let's try it.
Okay, motion to move forward as recommended. Any further comments or questions? That's moved by Neil. Lynette, please.
I did have one question. Why are we taking this money from a municipal reserve when this seems like a recreation thing?
Okay, Lane? Or?
No, fair question. The Duchess recreation funds are under the administration of the joint committee that is in place with the Village of Duchess. I'm not sure what opportunity there has been for the minor ball to tap into that fund in the past. I'm not sure what the history is there. I know that we do have funds in this reserve. They're not drawn upon very often, and it certainly is in line with the uses that money is collected for. This is an improvement to the facility as opposed to an operating expense. And we just think that it does fall in line with that grant, or sorry, with the reserve fund that has been established.
Thanks, Lane. Matt, you've got a comment too?
Yeah, and probably predating this council, the municipal reserve was used to replace the shale and rolling hills, which Todd's crew actually helped replace. I think the benefit on this one is the volunteers are going to be doing the lion's share of the work out there for replacing the shale.
Okay, thanks. Kelly, go ahead.
And just from experience, the Duchess recreation funds are always fully allocated, even before the applications go out pretty much, right? So I would suggest that they probably wouldn't get full funding anyway. So I'm in favor of using it in this way.
Okay, Holly, please. Thank you, Kelly.
Though I think it's an appropriate use of the funds, I won't vote for it because there's missing information, and it seems we're getting too many of these where we're not getting the information that's requested. We're missing the quotes, we're missing some of the financial stuff, the information. I just need to see more information and more skin in the game in terms of people coming and presenting to us. That's where I'm standing.
Okay, thank you. Any other comments or ready for the question? All in favor of the motion to approve as recommended, please indicate. Opposed? Okay, that's carried. Thank you. Okay, let's move on to item number 10.2, Rural Municipalities of Alberta, the RMA Fall Convention for 2024. Ariana, do you want to take us through the decisions we have to make regarding that today?
Yes, thank you. So the RMA Fall Convention is November 4th to 7th this year. Registration opened this week. I updated the RFD yesterday. There are 3 elected officials education program courses to take. 2 of them, the meeting management one is not for the certificate credit, but it's there if you want to take it. I listed who needs to take what yet. I'm not sure when the deadline is. The cost, I logged in this morning and the cost has increased this year to, I think it's $820 per person. I don't think there's an early bird deadline, but if there is, I'll get it. Other than that, you can send me an email and let me know whether you plan to attend and want to attend one of those courses. Other than that, the main focus of this is determining which ministries you want to meet with. I think the August 8th meeting, you discussed meeting with RCMP K Division.
Yeah, thanks, Ariana. That's right. We've requested a meeting with K Division. I'm sure we'll get that. Which other ministries should we be meeting with? Neil?
We may as well keep pounding away on our CDC with
Agriculture.
agriculture, and is there any other ones that we can tie in there? We got to get that thing going.
Maybe you should meet Ag and Infrastructure, yeah. Together, yeah. I mean, we're requesting that anyway, whether, but you know.
I think it's good to keep on them to
Hopefully
keep the fire going.
Yeah, we're doing that. Hopefully that might be able to happen ahead of this too, because we need to get on that. Things need to get rolling there quicker than they are. What about transportation? Go ahead, Holly.
I was going to suggest transportation and Dreeshen as well. I think we requested it almost every time, and we haven't got a meeting with him yet. He's not been very available, both on Highway 873 and on the number 1 overpass. And with that, we want to request a speed reduction to 80 for that intersection. We've had 2 significant accidents at that corner again in the last couple of months, and they've got to do something. This is a problem they're avoiding.
Okay, I think we can make those requests. Any other ministries that we want to meet with? Last year in the fall, I think we met, a group of us met with our MLA and the Premier as well. I think we can put that forward again if it's convenient and works out. But that'll be somewhat flexible, I suppose, depending on everyone's schedule. Anything else? Anything else we need to decide relative to this at this point? I don't think so. Thank you. Okay, let's move on to item number 10.3, functions of council. And we have a number of them. The Cypress County Ag Connections Conference. I think a number of people are attending and some probably uncertain at this point yet, speaking for myself, but go ahead, Kelly, please.
I'd like to make a motion that we make this a function of council for those that are able to
Choose to attend, yeah. Okay. All in favor of that? Oh, Greg, you've got a...
Would that include the reception before, the day before also? That function on council, or I'm thinking so, but the entire event?
I'm not sure of the details of the schedule, but I would think so. Go ahead, Holly.
I can speak to it. It is at Medalta, and it is not, it only holds like about 200 people, not the 500 the conference holds. And I think there's I'm not sure, is the cost listed for that day before? I don't remember. I think there's more of a significant cost for that but I'm sorry, I don't have the details in front of me.
Ariana, have you got some information for us?
I think the reception was another $42, I want to say.
Okay, I guess the implication is if someone's attending the night before, they're going to be staying over typically as well, right?
Yeah, I'm planning on going to the reception before, regardless, so.
Okay, well, okay, what's the intent? Are we going to include the
I guess
entire
we'll
event?
we'll make it all-inclusive then. Yeah. If it's important to you, you'll make your effort to be there.
Okay, all in favor of the motion, please indicate. That's carried, thank you. Other functions of council, potentially item 10.3.2 is a commemorative forest dedication ceremony on September 25th. We have an invitation to be there and bring words of greeting and some comments. I'm not sure, is there someone who can and would be willing to attend that? Adina?
I would, if you're not able to attend it, I would go.
Okay.
Now I should pay attention to when it was again? 25th, okay.
It's 25th of September, exact time, I believe it's
I
in
got
the
it right here.
afternoon. 2 o'clock? Yeah, I thought 2 o'clock, yeah. Okay, all in favor of that being a function of council? That's carried, thank you. Thanks, Adina. Are there any other functions of council? Kelly, go ahead.
I guess I could ask council, so last night was Duchess Fire meeting, and our representative, one of our representatives was not able to go, so Amanda checked with Dan, and so I did attend. So maybe a motion to accept that in Dan's absence. Just so Dan or committee sees it, they'll understand why it's on there.
Okay.
So Amanda and I represented the county
Right.
at that fire meeting.
Okay, thanks. Greg, go ahead.
Yeah, I'd like to make that motion that was a function of council for
Kelly.
For Kelly to replace Dan at that meeting.
Okay, thank you. All in favor, please indicate. That's carried. Thanks, Neil.
Yeah, just one question. Do we have to, like if I can't make solid waste, Lynette goes, we just arrange that ourselves? That's not really a function of council type of thing, is it?
Go.
Yeah, just one time,
Kelly?
but Kelly just did the same thing.
So it's just a courtesy to the committee so that they understand, but it's much better to have somebody go in your place, and that's the important part in my mind. But it is a courtesy to the committee so that they see that we're communicating openly about who's attending meetings.
Not A lot of times it happens just a day or two before you phone somebody, can you go, I can't make it. We should be able just to assume that that's a function of council and it's a paid meeting and.
Well, and which I did in this case, because it was last minute as well.
Cool.
It's just a courtesy to the committee that does our paperwork afterwards,
Cool.
right?
Okay, thank you. I think we have similar understanding on the whole thing. That's good. Any other functions of council? I don't think so. Let's move to municipal services business. The NCRS report is coming later, but we'll invite Mr. Mark Harbrington for the municipal services report. Welcome, Mark.
Good morning, Council. So monthly report for yourselves. Traffic safety calendar, of course, we're into September now. School has started, so school zones and stuff, our officers have been busy with that and bus routes and making sure our own staff are aware of buses being back on the roads and giving everybody enough room for the activity resuming with school. 13 warnings, 18 tickets, over 42 investigations in the past month. Hourly commitments with partners complete. Continue meeting for collaboration and cooperation purposes with the various partners in the region on matters. Social media posting on traffic bylaw was completed. We found some privately placed dust abatement that was not authorized by my office or anybody else in the county on county roads. It's not confirmed exact substance to know what we know, but we know who the product is owned by and who applied it, and we're going to be grading that product up. So if you get any phone calls about why the county would do that, we have the Traffic Safety Act. We also have a policy that nobody conducts any unauthorized activities on county roads. And we provide a very cost-effective program through the county for residences at a subsidized rate. Even the full cost is not that terrible for anybody to absorb that's interested, so we strongly encourage people to use the program offered by the county. Additionally, Brooks and Newell Safe Communities, we did attend that community barbecue, and that was a great event to engage and talk to people. Fleet Services has been busy. You can see we've received one of the two graders. The second one's supposed to be showing up here mid-September, so hopefully we can get that on the road. You'll also see that we put out an advertisement to hire a full-time grader operator. That's due to a vacancy that we have, and some other capital has been acquired. Road maintenance grader operators have completed 4.24 rotations. We're usually in that 6 to 8, pending how long the grading season lasts. If you go based on last year where we graded up until Christmas, it gets longer. Gravel program, excellent progress because they get drug into the dust abatement program and resurfacing and frost boils and other bare spots. So 70% complete more or less at the end of August, which is excellent. I have no doubt that they'll either be wrapped up here by the end of September or tapping into the first week of October, but it should go pretty well. And that would roll us right into the winter season and getting our trucks ready for white stuff that showed itself in the mountains just a week or so ago. Additionally, what do we got? Some work was completed on roads, Township Road 19.2 and 15.5 in the Castles area with drainage improvements and road improvements. Got some recertifications and some of our training done. The water project, contract 3, Bazzano Gem Rosemary, construction continues with contract completion date end of October. It has been extended to November 14th due to a few extras added to the contract. Contract 4, Patricia Scandia Rainier Bow City, construction remains in progress. Please refer to the website for updated timelines on anything. Jeff keeps that up to date as needed. Line painting's complete. Probably have a discussion with council on line painting with budget. More and more of the new vehicles now have lane departure assist and notice to you and whatnot. Gonna have to feel out whether you guys want to start painting all of the lines again, which would be adding another 33% to the budget, or whether we stick with what we've been doing with just 2 lines. So something for you to think about as you drive around and take notice what line paint looks like on our roads. That was a cost-cutting measure about 8 years ago with council, and it was in collaboration and in same manner as what Alberta Transportation was doing on provincial highways. MP Engineering continues to work on blocks 1 and 4 at Lake Newell Resort. This is capital improvement stuff, pre-planning, coming up with the solution to what we need to do down there. Range Road 15-0 from Highway 1 south to Highway 542. Engineering, again, looking at what we do with the capital and the timing and such there. Tilly Lagoon desludging, face some challenges securing suitable land, really high in nitrogen. That's due to irrigation practices, manure used on lands for fertilizer and stuff, and the sludge from the lagoon, just not finding the right land suitable for it and finding alternatives. So working through that solution. Kinbrook Connection Pathway Partnership, you know, I jinxed myself in July, didn't I? They're just getting started. They've been fencing for about a week now and getting started with pathway work here next week, I believe. So hoping to be done this year. Lake Newell Resort Pathway, we have one landowner to secure yet, so no change from last period. Obviously bumping that to 2025 for construction, so hopefully things work out. We will revisit the pathway construction cost estimate to make sure that we're working within the original advertised local improvement budget line. And Rosemary Drainage Partnership with the EID continues with things there. Budget preparation for 2025 interim budgets going on. Field day next Thursday. Still working on getting the program. Council asked that we get that out to you a couple days in advance at least. So early next week, Monday, Tuesday, maybe you'll get it in your email. The things that are identified in the field day, I'm not going to have all of the answers for, because sometimes we're really scratching to find good information, and we do our best, but we may not have all the answers for you for questions that you might come up with. But it'll be a great day. We've got some great tours to go on. Municipal load report, I did get numbers updated for August, so there were 206 permits issued in August, bringing the year-to-date total to 1616, and a total forecast of 2424, which would be a 9% increase over the previous year if you were looking at that. So if there's any questions, I'll do my best to answer.
Thank you, Mark. Are there questions? Holly, please.
I'm still scratching my head why you want to paint more lines just because people have lane control. Are there people requesting it?
No, nobody's requesting it. It's an observation of operations that when you don't paint all the lines every year, the one shoulder line starts to become very, very faded, and sometimes there isn't even a line left for the line painting truck to follow when they go to paint in the alternating year. And then with safety features of the new vehicles and those vehicles looking to sense for those lanes and stuff like that, for those that do use those features, it'll tell you to put your hands back on the wheel when it can't. But is that something that we just need to be aware of from the auto manufacturers, the standards and safety that are coming out, that we may need to be doing better for upkeep of those types of systems? Just a thought for you to consider.
Thanks, Mark. Any other questions? Seeing none, a motion to accept the municipal services report. Greg, please.
Yeah, I'll make that motion.
Thank you. All in favor, please indicate. Thank you, Mark. Appreciate that. And I'm going to suggest that we take a 5-minute break, and then I believe we're going in camera with Ray Jessica if he gets here. Yeah. 9.1, a funding request from the Duchess Recreation Center Flooring Resurfacing Project. And we've got representatives here from Duchess, Deborah and Tony and Yvonne. Welcome. Yeah. Do you want to take the, yeah.
Good morning, Your Worship, Reid-Mickler and County Council. It's good to be here. Haven't been for a while, so it's good to see you all again. Here today, I think you have an RFD in front of you regarding the Duchess Recreation Centre floor. Just a little bit of background to it. This was an emerging issue. We would not normally do this. It would normally be planned. We have had regular inspections, and a couple of times in the past have had crack repairs into the flooring. They came to do the regular inspection in the spring and discovered that we had significant crack events. Some of them were actually leading to health and safety risk. So council at the time recognized this as a quick response and made the decision to go ahead and do the flooring anyway. We did not want, we had a significant number of youth teams, sports teams booked in, and our only option would have been to cancel all those youth sports events that were lined up. And we decided that it's hard enough for youth to get sports and activity in this world at the moment. We didn't want to add to any more challenges for them. So we went ahead with the replacement, understanding that that was our decision. We own that. We were told that the cracks originally would be repairable. When they did the in-depth inspection, they said, you'd just be wasting your money because you're going to have to replace the flooring. The flooring, when it was originally put in, we were given a sort of estimate of about 10 to 15 years. I personally suspect that they looked at the size of the village and said that's how long it should last, not understanding how much use our rec centre actually gets. And I think we've even been surprised on the use. So I'll finish it there, just a very brief, but I'm happy to take questions on anything that you want to question me on.
Okay, thank you. Go ahead. Thanks, Deborah. Amanda, please.
Morning, Deborah.
Morning.
What kind of guarantee did they give you on that flooring?
I think they were recommending, they were estimating it would be about 10 to 15 years, and we've been having regular inspections. I suspect we've been tracking usage, but I think going forward we're going to do a more robust job of that and reviewing it. We now have the flooring replacement as a capital infrastructure replacement on an 8-year cycle, but we are not going to depend on that now going forward. We will be tracking and checking it, bearing in mind that we get a lot of use from the school too. The school actually contracts to use it half the field 5 days a week. So the foot traffic that we're getting through there, I think when they gave us that estimate, they were just looking at a village of 1,000 people and going, well, this is what they normally use. I actually did make a few phone calls through contacts of mine around the province, and I haven't compared the numbers exactly, but I get a real distinct sense that ours gets used a lot more than possibly other villages or small towns of the same size.
So just for clarification, the original floor is the same company that replaced this past June?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, they do have very good reputation. The flooring surfaces that they have in other facilities they're very robust. They're actually built to take a semi-truck going over them. So they are built to take significant foot traffic. It's not a case of we use the cheapest one on the market sort of thing.
Well, it certainly is a nice surface. I utilized it this summer, so it is a good surface, so thank you for that.
Thank you.
Kelly, thanks, Amanda. Kelly?
Thanks for the explanation at the beginning, because that answered one of my questions big time. I guess just the communication or the timeline between making the decision, I guess just a phone call or an email, we could have been more on top of it and got this partnership, if you will, working much sooner. That would be my comment.
Yep, no, duly
We would
noted.
love
I
to
appreciate that.
consider you a partner, and certainly. And then my other question was, does the school board rent, or do they get free use of your facility?
Can I just ask my CAO that? Do they? Yeah, that's what I thought. They do pay a fee for the year. So there is an actual agreement in place for that usage.
Thanks for that.
Okay.
So just a follow-up question to that, is there a reason for the gap in communication, like just with regard to the project happening and our awareness of it? I think we'd like to see that improved. If
I think we did reach out, didn't we? Notified CAO Fensky, and I think there was some communication that went backwards and forwards, and I believe we were planning to come to County Council earlier in the summer. Can't remember why that, maybe, sorry, CAO, could I ask just for clarification?
Yeah, CAO, Kosh, and myself have had communications leading up to this meeting. I think the point is, earlier is always better in a planning cycle for the county.
Yep.
An earlier meeting before the floorings going in, I think is the point.
Yeah, that's certainly what I was referring to. I mean, it's not like, I think we'd like to see that a little bit more judicious if possible, because this is not an insignificant amount of money. And
Yeah, no, absolutely. We recognize that. And when I mentioned before, I said we own this. And I do give sincere apologies because we weren't probably as proactive as we should have been. And we recognize that. So, we do own that decision, and that is completely on us. So we can do better, and we will endeavor to do better going forward.
Okay, thank you. Kelly, please.
My other question to you is about the quote. County Council goes with 3 quotes, and you didn't reach out to any other sports facility or get any other quotes on this project?
No, we did go with the company that surfaced over, because what they've done is they've replaced over with that. So if we'd have gone to the 3-quote system, we would have had to undertake a completely new system coming in. So, there's always the potential then that they come in and they'll make radical changes. So you're looking then, I did some reaching out to some of my people just to anticipate questions. And I know there are smaller communities. I'm going to quote the Mayor of Legal because she allowed me to. They've just been quoted $250,000 to put in a brand new rec centre floor of a similar size to ours. I think it's maybe a dozen square feet bigger, but it's pretty much the same thing. So this was the same company. The flooring has held up really well. There are limited amounts of people doing this out there, but yeah, it's a very good comment. I think it was more that we had the company there. They were willing to do those repairs, get them in place, and ensure that we didn't have to cancel any of those volleyball tournaments or basketball tournaments that we had up and running. So, and if anybody has been out to any of them in the summer, CAO Kosh and myself were around. We were actually giving somebody a tour of the village, and we stopped in at the rec centre, and I think we both said we'd never seen that many teenage girls in one place before. They had, there'd got to be over 100 of them in different workout groups working on training camps for volleyball. And we get very, very positive responses from these teams that come in and use the facility about the quality, the location, the fact that they can come into this area and enjoy the area as well. So
Okay, thank you. Holly, go ahead, please.
Hi.
Hi.
Just some questions, just more information about the floor itself. So the floor failed, was it more stress fractures or just was wearing? Because I look, they kind of pour it on top.
Yeah.
So do they take off a layer? Is it just on top? Is it again, they're saying 10 to 15 years? Are they saying 8 years? Like, a little more clarity on that, please.
We have set it at 8 years now because we feel that that is due diligence on our capital plan. We're trying to learn from this experience and be proactive. And one thing that CAO Kosh and myself have also discussed is we'll start tracking foot traffic at a high level through there. And if we're seeing significant increases, then we may be up the inspections and get them in sooner and even adjust that replacement again on our capital plan to be earlier. So we're going to be more proactive going forward in trying to track the usage. In terms of what they've replaced now, we should be good for the 8 years. The cracks, it is wear and tear, it's foot traffic, it's not anything that we're doing. They were very clear about that. Our maintenance procedures are excellent, and they were very complimentary about that. It's simply foot traffic, wear and tear. Does that answer your?
They took off a layer or they just poured one on top?
Yes. I'm going to go to CAO Kosh because
They polish it down, they scratch the shiny surface off, and then they pour over top. So they rotate, take it down like millimeters, and then they do the repairs, and then they pour on top of the existing surface.
Yeah.
But it's
sorry, I wasn't actually around when they did it, so too much traveling in my life at the moment.
The only other thing I notice is that we do have an expired recreation agreement. Certainly, we have a pattern for how we deal with this, and I think we're pleased to be partners on this. Is there a timeline on that, or is there an explanation of, like, we're getting close to, like, we're bumping up against some extra months to get that done? Is that?
Yeah. No, it's in progress right now. I think we have some dates set because somebody asked me for my availability the other day. So, yeah, I think that was discussed at the turn of the year, wasn't it? That it was expiring, and I think both CAOs have been in communication about resetting it. We've got a preliminary document, I believe, in place. It's just a case now of getting the ICF group for that agreement together. And I do apologize because I may be a bit of a barrier to that, because when people ask me what my availability is at the moment, it comes out as like 3 days a month. So I do apologize, CAO Fensky, because I know I've been the one that's been like, yeah, I can do that, but not there. And so we do have that in place though, so we will be meeting within the month, I believe.
Okay, thank you. Are there any other questions or comments? Lynette, please, go ahead.
This is probably more for Matt. Where are we in the spending for the 2024 as far as our old agreement and with Duchess?
So nothing has been spent in 2024. We budgeted some placeholder amounts, understanding we'd update the agreement. So no cash has flown to date, including to the Ag Society. We do have a date scheduled to get together with the Ag Society and update that agreement as well. I'm anticipating one of those meetings in October. You'll see final draft agreements both with the village and with the Ag Society. So where the agreement has expired, we're coming on the case-by-case basis, looking to maintain the spirit of that original agreement, which had funding at a 50-50 cost share. The cost to the county in option one, $53,468.50, we're proposing to be supported and funded from the Recreation Fund.
Great, thanks, Matt. Any other questions? If not, we will deal with this. We've got a recommendation, whether we handle it now or a little later in the meeting. Thank you for your presentation this morning.
Thank you. Thank you for hosting us today. It was good to see you all.
Yeah.
Hopefully see some of you soon.
Yeah. Great, thank you.
He's here early.
Mitch, welcome. We are up to item 9.2, the sponsorship opportunity for the second annual Ag Connections Conference in Medicine Hat. We'll get you up online here right away.
Good morning. Thanks for inviting me here today. It was a good thing I was actually watching online because I was expecting not to come till a little bit later, and then I said, "Ooh, I just saw the agenda. I'm coming up." So I might have gotten speeding ticket on the way out, but that's okay. I'm here. So yeah, thank you. Matt has invited me to come and talk about the. Ag Connections Conference. Is it coming up? Well, maybe I'll let Ariana get to that. Yeah, so the second annual Ag Connections Conference is being held in Medicine Hat on, it's a PowerPoint. Oh, okay. Thanks. In Medicine Hat on Wednesday, November 20th. I know a number of councillors attended last year along with myself. It's organized by Cypress County, and it's a producer-focused event that aims to support the growth, diversification, and sustainability of the agricultural industry in the region through innovation and education. Last year, when I attended, it really hit home to a lot of the factors that we're trying to promote within our region. And it's something that had been on our mind, that having something maybe similar to that to present to the farmers and the agricultural industry here. But given that Cypress County has already gone ahead and done this, there's no point in my mind in necessarily reinventing the wheel, because the speakers and the topics that were discussed there were relevant throughout Alberta. So our thought was that we wouldn't mind being involved again in promoting it on a broader basis, to have more than just our councillors there. There were a few other representatives or farms from our region that were there as well, I believe. So anyways, it doesn't really matter. Okay. Last year was their first year held, and it was very popular. Thank you. We'll get to it. There we go. And it sold out. 350 attendees. I think they were sold out like a month in advance. So they're going to go ahead again this year, and it's expected to be even bigger this year. We see it as an opportunity to collaborate with a regional partner, Cypress County, to sort of bring this kind of information and this kind of event to our local farms. Some of the topics that were held last year, there was a wide variety, from farm mental health to Olds College was there. One that was really important or eye-opening for me was MNP had a farm succession event, and I'll talk a little bit more about that a little bit later on, and how it sort of triggered something that we're planning on doing. So the Brooks Rural region, through our work plan, has committed to a gold sponsorship for $2,000. We had it within our budget that this type of event would fit. That'll allow us to have an exhibitor booth, complimentary registrations, advertising, promotions, and a profile in the conference program. We're going to use this as our exposure to highlight the diverse agricultural sector in the county and the opportunities for development in the region. And one of those main focuses, I think, is we want to sort of see where we're at, but we want to highlight the CDC South and what the county has planned there. Let me just move on to the next page. The screen's too far and I'm too blind. There we go. So this just sort of recaps a little bit about last year. They had 337 attendees. Very popular. The feedback was outstanding from the event. This year, we're looking at this being even a bigger event. Let me go down here. and this is their agenda. So some of their keynote speakers include Robert Sake, who's one of Canada's top 50 most influential agricultural leaders, and he's one of Canada's top 10 ag mentors. He's a professional agrologist, entrepreneur, and international consultant, and the founder of AgVisor Pro, which is a platform for connecting agriculture experts and those seeking advice. Their closing keynote speaker is, I'm going to mess up her name, but it's Mocha Smilgalski. She's the CEO of One Cup AI, which helps automate many of the manual decision-making processes a rancher faces every day. She has a strong family background in ranching and farming, having grown up in Alberta, and she has seen firsthand the challenges faced by the agricultural industry. So apart from them, they do have a number of other speakers that you can see there from many different topics. So you can go to their website and find out a little bit more of that. We did actually they put a call out for presenters. We tried our best. We put a proposal for us to do a little presentation on CDC South, but unfortunately we didn't make the cut, but maybe next year. And they have expanded it to 500 attendees. It's already half sold out. I spoke with Beth Cash from Cypress County yesterday, and she said they're about half sold out. So we really want to invite council to attend again, but we also want you to help us spread the word. We'll be doing some social media posts to market the event and really try and get as many of our local producers down there as possible. Hopefully that timing of later in November works out for a lot of people. So again, we want to really promote it through our area. I think it's a great way for us to work regionally on these type of events and partner and collaborate with our neighbors in Cypress County. Registrations are $75 for the day, and that includes the luncheon. We do have some complimentary registrations available through our goal sponsorship that we'll be using to promote the event and potentially give out to local producers who might want to attend and attract some more attention to them. So anyways, I don't know if there's any questions on the conference or comments. I know a number of you attended last year.
Thanks, Mitch. Are there any questions or comments? Holly, go ahead, please.
Just going to add that PEP is co-sponsoring the conference, so PEP is quite involved as well. We'll probably hand in the registration table, I think, that morning, so I get to get there really early.
Thanks, Holly.
Yeah, if there's nothing else, there's actually just two other kind of events that are following up, if I can just sort of put our little promotion out there. The Economic Growth Forum it's the third annual Economic Growth Forum and Trade Show. I think Neil, I think you were there the first year in Gray, perhaps even. So we're going to be involved in that again. It's again in Medicine Hat. We'll be an exhibitor at their trade show on the Wednesday evening, and we're going to have a video presentation there highlighting sort of our region and what we do as well, sort of the feature spotlight video.
What's the date for that?
And that is October 23rd. The Wednesday is the trade show. That's just in the evening, so there'll be a number of organizations there. And then 24th and the 25th is the actual growth forum. And so we can send you some more information on speakers there. And everything from workforce to housing to post-secondary education and training programs there too. So a bit of a broader focus, but again, on economic growth in the Southeast Alberta region.
Okay. Thank you.
And then finally, the one other event I really want to highlight is our farm succession workshop we have planned for November 14th. Again, this was really triggered actually from Ag Connections last year when I attended the MNP farm succession. And I think there was a couple councillors in there as well for that one. For me, it was really eye-opening into the complex nature of farm succession and how farm families plan for the future. And I think a lot of the comments I've sort of reached, as I talk about this, I know Reid-Mickler has talked to me about how, even with your family, they're challenging issues to see how you plan for the future. So we see this as a big topic for us and a big, factor for success of farm families. So we are going to be holding a farm succession workshop on Thursday, November 14th. It'll be open to all Brooks Newell Region farm families and business owners, agriculture businesses as well. And then we're also going to be inviting a number of professionals, whether it's financial planners, lawyers, accountants to attend well and sort of help us collaborate and bring that discussion forward. It's going to be pretty much an all-day event, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. We've actually we're bringing in Elaine Fraze, who some of you may know. Elaine will help facilitate the presentation. She's a well-known speaker on farm succession. She's an expert on that, and she travels the world speaking on it. We'll also have panelists from the legal, accounting, and financial topics. So from that, attendees will receive a workbook planner and some resource materials and ability to follow up. We'll also we do have some funding available through our one of our grants for business succession that'll allow farm families to access some funds that they can go to their professionals. We're not telling them who they have to work with, but if you have an accountant or a lawyer that you want to meet with, and we do have some funds to help offset some of those costs. So there's potential for that as well too. Registration, we don't have that open yet, but it will be open soon. It'll be free of charge to the Brooks Newell region. We will be somewhat space limited, and considering the number of farm families in our region and the fact that these discussions are not just perhaps one person, they could be 4 to 8 to 10 people within the family, we expect that it might fill up. So once we get that registration open, we'll let everybody know, and we'll try to accommodate as many people as possible. We really would love to see as many farm families represented there. So anyways, we're looking forward to that one. And that, again, that's Thursday, November 14th.
Thank you. Holly, please.
Just a few more details about that one. So you're going to bring one speaker in, and then it's going to be a lot of discussions, or you have a lot of specialists there? How are you?
So Elaine has a very broad knowledge, and I believe Reid-Mickler has worked with her in the past, so has familiarity. So she talks a lot about the communication side of succession planning and how generations sometimes, we've got this farm and we just leave it to the fact that we're a family and we're going to figure this out. But, even families have issues. And so a lot of hers is about the communication side of it. But she brings in, talks about the legal aspects, the accounting aspects, everything from, do you need a prenuptial agreement when somebody marries into the family? How is this, how you separate the land value of the farm from the actual business value of the farm. And so she will sort of talk throughout the day and moderate it. Then we have Reid Wilkie. He's a lawyer out of Medicine Hat who I saw recently at another event. Great speaker on the legal side of it. He focuses a lot of that. Derek Rickman from Connect First Credit Union is a financial planner, so he talks a lot about how you set up the financing, how you plan that long-term income stream for the next generation and make sure that mom and dad get paid, whereas the kids can come in and still be viable as an operation. And then we also have Carla McCallum, local from LMSPC accountants, who will be talking about the accounting side of it as well too. So, and each one of those experts will speak. Elaine will sort of bring those topics together and bring them into a personal basis. And then a lot of it too is we'll hopefully have a professional at each table. So we'll have some discussion around each topic and break out sort of into smaller groups where you can talk about some of the issues you have. And we also hope to have a bit of an exhibition space where some of these professional and service providers can be there to meet with and get that conversation rolling. So that is really the key, I think, is getting the conversation rolling amongst families. What are we doing right? What could we do better? Or what do we need to address now? And we also don't want to just have this as a one-time event and then, okay, here, we told you what to do, now go do it. We want it to be a follow-up type event. We want to provide the supports where you can meet with professionals, access resources, and then have an ongoing sort of learning coming out of it as well.
Okay, thanks. Okay. Mitch, any other questions? Neil and then Ellen, please.
Not a question. All three of your topics were excellent, but that succession one is super. Done a great job.
Yeah, I think it is something that over the last year I've been really looking at, and I think we've decided, well, we always know that it's a big topic. I will say too, Elaine is quite open to it, not just while the focus is on farms, it is something that all businesses can relate to and can learn from. I mean, personal experience through a family business, you know, you see these topics come up. What are we doing? We're just here working, or, you know, we want this business to move forward. The family business is your retirement plan. And if you don't have it planned properly, then, you know, problems can come up. So, yeah, it's an important topic.
Thanks. Mitch, go ahead, Ellen.
So how do our producers going to find out about this workshop?
So what we'll do, we'll be marketing it through, you know, advertising, traditional advertising. We'll have it on our social media. You know, if the county can share that information, get it out to them, and then word of mouth. Just as you go around talking to you know, producers and saying, hey, you should be signing up for this. And also we would encourage any of you who have businesses to sign up as well.
What's your space limitation, do you know?
Well, right now we are planning on 150. We do have the ability to expand, but because of everything from production of materials, meals, everything, we will have a cutoff date. We would like to have our numbers set probably 3 to 4 weeks in advance, but yeah.
Okay, thanks. Kelly, go ahead, please.
I'm wondering, Ag Society meetings are coming up.
Mm-hmm.
If we couldn't get an email out to the local Ag Societies, and they have a membership list, and so then they could fan it out to their members.
That's a great idea, and we will do that. We'll reach out to them. We will actually have sort of already done an initial reach out to the EID as well too, and trying to get it out through as many organizations that has that. If anybody wants me to come and talk a little bit about it, I'd be happy to do that as well.
Okay, thanks, Mitch. Holly, go ahead.
I always put a bug in for the rural post office signs on the bulletin board, because people can get their mail and they read it. That often works well.
It's good old school advertising for sure.
Thank you. Okay. Any other questions? Thanks for coming in, Mitch. Appreciate that.
Okay. Thank you.
Where are we at? Do we know when Ray's coming?
They'll be here at 11:45, right? Yeah.
Oh, I see. Okay, I'm going to suggest we take 5 minutes and reconvene for our public hearing at 11:30. reconvene when in a minute here? We need a motion to move into a public hearing, I believe, right? Ellen? Ellen so moves. All in favor of the motion to move into a public hearing, please indicate. That's carried. Thank you. I'll call this public meeting to order. At this point, we are considering bylaw 2076-24 land use agreement 004. Maria, welcome. You can give us some background and take us through this, please.
You bet. Thank you very much. The subject property is in Division 10, which is 15 kilometers north of the city of Brooks. The purpose of the application is to redesignate an approximate 10-acre parcel from Agriculture General District to Agriculture Small Lot District. The subdivision authority bylaw states that a subdivision authority may only approve one subdivision on an unsubdivided quarter section within the Ag General Land Use District. This would not be the first subdivision out of this quarter section, which is why the land use redesignation is required. The subdivision authority bylaw also states that further subdivision of a parcel zoned Ag Small Lot is not permitted. The Ag Small Lot District is to allow for flexible parcel sizes based on current agriculture operation requirements and physical characteristics of the land. Council passed first reading on August 8th. This application was circulated to adjacent landowners and required referrals, and there were no comments or concerns raised. There were also no concerns from internal county departments. So it is recommended that council give second and third reading to land use bylaw 2076-24. Thanks.
Okay, thank you. Are there any comments? I don't know, nobody here in the public to speak to it. Anything online? Okay. Thank you. With that, we'll move on to item number 7.2, the bylaw 2079-24, the road closure and sale of part of Willow Creek, Willow Street in the Hamlet of Patricia, correct?
Thank you. So this is a road closure application in order to rectify where the existing built road is located and where the existing road allowance is located. So the current road is not built within the road plan. There's also county-owned parcels that are adjacent to the road plan that an adjacent landowner is interested in purchasing to consolidate with their lands. So there will be surveyors out to that location already. So this gives the county the opportunity to rectify this road situation where the road is not built where the road allowance is. So the EID owns the land adjacent to the road and where the road has been built, and they have agreed to sell portions of this land. So what will happen is we'll close the entire road and then rededicate a road allowance where the existing road is built. Approval to proceed was given by council on August 8th. This was circulated and there was no comments or concerns received. And should council pass first reading, then we will send this to Alberta Transportation. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Maria. Again, no comments coming out of the public and no one here to speak to it. Thank you for your presentation of that. I'm aware of the fact that we appreciate the good work you do getting ready for these kinds of things, and thank you for your effort in that. With that, I'm going to suggest that I'll accept a motion to move out of public hearing if someone's prepared to make that, Lynette. All in favor of the motion to move out of public hearing? That's carried. Thank you. And let's move right on to bylaws number 8.1. Bylaw 2076-24 we need second and third reading on this bylaw. Is anyone prepared to make move to second reading? Neil?
Yeah, I'm prepared to make that motion.
All in favor, please indicate. Okay, similarly, third reading, if we're prepared to move on that, someone make the motion to, Amanda, please.
I'll make that motion.
Thank you. All in favor of approval of third reading? That is carried as well. Thank you. And then as our second agenda item there, bylaw 2076-24, the road closure and sale of the property in Patricia requires first reading. If someone is prepared to move that. Kelly, please. All in favor of that motion, please indicate. That is carried as well. Thank you. And then we'll move to item number 8.3 is for the bylaw 2078-24 road closure and lease. Maria, please.
Thank you. So bylaw 2078-24 is to close portions of road allowance as shown in the attached maps to facilitate new and existing irrigation practices. The lands are in Division 3, north of the hamlet of Patricia, and all parcels in the area are zoned agriculture. The applicant has replaced wheel lines with a lateral pivot. The cart of the pivot is in the road allowance in order to effectively irrigate his adjacent field. The applicant owns land on both sides of the road allowance proposed to be closed, and access to other lands will not be affected by this application. The application was circulated to internal departments, required referral agencies, and adjacent landowners, and no comments or concerns were received. Approval to proceed was provided on May 23rd, public hearing and first reading on June 20th, and we received Alberta Transportation approval on August 9th. So it is recommended that council give second and third reading to the proposed bylaw.
Thank you. Are there any questions? Seeing none, I would entertain a motion to approve second reading. Lynette, please. All in favor of that, please indicate. That is carried. And similarly, 8.3.2, motion to provide third reading for bylaw 2078-24. Adina. Thank you. All in favor, please indicate. That is carried as well. Thank you. Thank you for taking us through that procedure this morning. Now I'm going to suggest that we do we move in camera or yeah?
Do you want to call for a question period? The second time?
Actually, why don't we do that? We've had a suggestion that we give us pardon me, more than one opportunity for question period. Are there any questions for council this morning? Are there any online? We're taking people by surprise, I'm sure. Okay, thank you. With that, I'm going to suggest, I would entertain a motion that we move in camera. Ray, Jessica is here to talk to us this morning. Holly moves that we go in camera. All in favor of the motion, please indicate. That's carried. Thank you. And I believe that brings us dangerously close to the end of this meeting. I don't think there's any post-agenda items. Is there anything else that we need to consider this afternoon? I think we supported that. Thanks, Ellen. Yeah. They're hitting home runs already. Yeah. Okay. With that, a motion to adjourn would be in order. Holly, all in favor? That's carried. Thank you for your attention today.